The story begins inside an apartment where a man named Aiden wakes up like it is any normal day. He gets ready and prepares to go on with his routine. But when he turns on the TV, everything feels wrong. Every channel is broadcasting an emergency alert, and outside, chaos is already unfolding. Aiden even witnesses a helicopter suddenly crashing into a nearby building. In the middle of all this confusion, Aiden's neighbor Brandon suddenly barges into his apartment. Brandon is panicking and says he just needs a place to hide. His roommate has started acting strangely, violently even, and nearly attacked him. Moments later, a news report explains what is really happening. The entire city is being overrun by a mysterious virus, one that behaves like a zombie outbreak. The infected show red eyes and the virus spreads rapidly through bites and scratches. That is when Aiden notices something horrifying. Brandon is already infected. There is a clear bite mark on his neck. Without hesitation, Aiden forces Brandon out of the apartment. Outside, Brandon is immediately overwhelmed and killed by other infected people. Left alone, Aiden is shaken and terrified, unsure of what to do next. Everything changes when Aiden receives a message from his parents. They tell him to stay where he is and survive. Holding on to the hope of seeing his family again, Aiden makes a decision to stay alive for as long as he can. This is alone. During the first week, he manages to cope with the isolation by watching international news reports that explain how the zombies behave. He even starts recording simple vlogs to document his daily life inside the apartment. By the fourth week, the situation has grown much worse. The virus has completely spread across the city. Strange noises outside his door constantly put him on edge, and he fears the zombies could break in at any moment. When the water supply suddenly stops, Aiden begins to lose control of his thoughts. The stress builds up, and he struggles to keep himself mentally stable, doing whatever he can to stay sane. One day, while recording another vlog, Aiden hears an unsettling sound. A zombie has managed to enter his apartment. Acting quickly, he kills it and disposes of the body. Realizing how it got inside, he immediately seals the ventilation opening above his bathroom. After surviving alone for 2 months, Aiden finally tries to contact his family. He desperately wants to know if they are still alive. Instead, he receives a voice message from his mother that shatters him completely. His entire family has been attacked by zombies. The realization that he will never see them again leaves Aiden completely heartbroken. Overwhelmed by anger and grief, Aiden storms out of his apartment to kill as many zombies as he can. But they are far too many. He barely escapes and manages to make it back inside alive. Shortly after, the power suddenly goes out. The blackout spreads across the entire city, pushing Aiden even deeper into despair as he longs for his family and the woman he loves. The next day, Aiden reaches his lowest point. With no clear purpose left, he begins to consider doing the unthinkable. But in a quiet, unexpected moment, everything changes. Across the street, he notices a young woman who has somehow managed to survive in the apartment building opposite his own. The sight of another living person instantly brings his hope back. For the first time in a long while, Aiden realizes he is not alone. Gathering his courage, Aiden finds a way to communicate with her using handwritten notes. She responds and introduces herself as Ava. Like Aiden, she has been surviving alone inside her apartment. She still has plenty of food, but her water supply is dangerously low. That night, rain finally begins to fall. Aiden takes advantage of it, using the rainwater to clean himself after weeks without proper water. The following day, he and Eva continue communicating through notes, careful to stay quiet and avoid drawing the attention of the zombies roaming nearby. Aiden then comes up with a risky plan to help her. He ties a rope to a baseball and tosses it across, allowing Eva to catch it so he can send her some of his remaining water. But the noise attracts trouble. A nearby zombie hears them and starts climbing toward Eva's apartment. Thinking fast, Aiden distracts the creature, drawing it away from her and toward his own apartment instead. Aiden signals Eva to come over to his place. As the zombie climbs inside, Aiden confronts it and kills it using his baseball bat.
No! Hey! Stop! Stop it!
Afterward, he realizes a hard truth. Staying locked inside the apartment forever is no longer an option. Determined to survive, Aiden decides to venture outside in search of food. After obtaining the key to Brandon's apartment, he sneaks inside before the zombies can reach him. He gathers all the food he can find, but his luck almost runs out when a zombie suddenly attacks. Forced to fight, Aiden kills it, then carefully makes his way back to his own apartment, moving slowly to avoid alerting the growing crowd outside. Along with the food, Aiden also finds 2 walkie-talkies. Seeing an opportunity, he plans to use them to communicate with Eva. He lowers himself down just long enough to throw one of the walkie-talkies to her, then quickly retreats back inside to escape the zombies. The next morning, Aiden wakes up to a message from Eva through the walkie-talkie. From that moment on, they begin talking every day. Their conversations drift from simple survival to personal stories, including their past relationships and the lives they once lived.
Hello? Aiden? Are you there?
Yeah. Hey, Eva,
Hi. I can't believe you did this.
Over time, these shared moments bring them closer, and a genuine connection begins to grow between them. Not long after, Aiden's food supplies begin to run dangerously low. With no other choice, he plans a risky move by crawling through the ventilation system to reach another apartment in search of supplies. Along the way, he is startled when he comes across a zombie that is no longer moving. He presses on carefully, traveling deeper through the vents until he finds a place where he can climb down into an apartment. After quietly checking the surroundings and making sure it feels safe, Aiden opens a cabinet and is shocked to find it completely stocked with food. When Aiden shares this discovery with Eva, she becomes worried and urges him to be careful. She is afraid of losing him. Eva also tells him that she plans to climb over to Aiden's apartment so they can survive together instead of staying apart. Suddenly, Aiden hears an unusual sound. He notices that the apartment door is blocked by a refrigerator, just like the barricade he built in his own place. This immediately tells him that someone else is living there. As he investigates further, an elderly man suddenly appears behind him, holding a spear and threatening him after noticing a wound on Aiden's hand. After Aiden explains that the injury is not from a zombie bite, the old man finally lowers his guard. His name is Edward, and he apologizes for the misunderstanding. Edward explains that he is not the original resident of the apartment. He came from somewhere else and decided to stay after discovering the large supply of food inside. To welcome Aiden, Edward prepares a meal for him. As they spend time together, they talk about how they have managed to survive the zombie outbreak. Edward shares his belief that the zombies should not be slaughtered, since there is still a chance that scientists outside the city could develop a cure. If that happens, the infected, including loved ones, could be saved. Aiden finds himself agreeing with this idea. He still holds on to the memory of his parents and his younger sister, and now he also wants to protect Eva, as his feelings for her continue to grow. Edward notices that Aiden's supplies are running low and encourages him to take some food before leaving. But just as Aiden reaches for it, everything goes wrong. Edward suddenly strikes him from behind, knocking him unconscious. When Aiden wakes up, he finds himself tied up inside a room, trapped alongside a zombie. The horrifying truth quickly becomes clear. The zombie is Edward's wife, and Edward plans to use Aiden as food to keep her from starving. Edward has done this before. He sacrifices others, takes their supplies, and does whatever it takes to survive with his wife. And now Aiden has become his next victim. When Edward lets his guard down, Aiden finally manages to break free. In the struggle, Edward ends up being bitten by his own wife. Unfortunately, Edward's screams echo through the building, drawing the attention of nearby zombies. With no time to waste, Aiden escapes and hides in the neighboring apartment. That is when he realizes something even worse. Eva is trapped in her own apartment, surrounded by zombies that have already broken inside. With no other option, Aiden climbs down to save her. He grabs a shotgun and tries to fight his way through, but the number of zombies is overwhelming. In a desperate move, he uses the rope Eva prepared earlier to climb into her apartment. Once they manage to escape the immediate danger, Aiden helps Eva climb down to the floor below. When she makes it safely, she clings to him tightly. At first, they try to move quietly and slip away, but the zombies soon notice them. Panic takes over, and the two of them sprint with everything they have to escape the chase. As they rush back toward Aiden's apartment, a zombie suddenly attacks him. He still manages to get inside, but he immediately pushes Eva away, convinced that the zombie has bitten his stomach. Believing there is no hope left for him, Aiden prepares to sacrifice himself, leaving Eva devastated at the thought of being alone again. Aiden understands that pain all too well. He knows what it feels like to lose the people you love, because he lived in that emptiness before he ever met Eva. But when he removes his clothes, the truth is revealed. The bite never broke his skin. He is not infected. The relief they feel is overwhelming, and for a brief moment, happiness returns. Soon after, the zombies begin pounding on the apartment door, trying to force their way inside. Aiden and Eva hold the door with all their strength until the sounds finally fade away. When the danger passes, they decide to stay together in the apartment for as long as they can, holding on to the hope that one day, rescuers will come. And with that, the story comes to an end. So the moral of the story is never ignore emergency news, never trust a friendly old man with a spear, and always double-check a zombie bite before planning a dramatic sacrifice.